Welcome to Fantasy Football Today, presented by BetMGM. Make it legendary. It is Wednesday, December 3rd. It's Hump Day, and we have a fun show for you. We have a great show for you tonight. We've got Worryometer and Pumptometer. We asked the people, who are you worried about? Who are you pumped about going forward? Only 4 weeks. What's up? Why are you shaking your head?
You already forgot.
That Dave's not here? And are we celebrating that too?
No.
Oh, gosh.
You have to call it the pumped up-o-meter.
Oh.
Or you have to accept that washed is acceptable. Those are your two choices.
But you've heard many people, I'm so pumped for this.
Oh, I've never heard anybody say washed.
No, but for years and years, people have been saying, I'm so pumped for this. Last few
Make
years.
a choice.
Bumped up-o-meter is fine. Okay, bumped up-o-meter is fine. Just a few news and notes for you. And then we're playing a game at the end of the show. Oh, we're also previewing Dallas, Detroit. But we're playing a game at the end of the show. What game do you want it to be, Heath?
This sounds like a fun game.
Heath is 100% right. Comment from the chat. Which game would you like?
Let's see. The feud would be fun.
And Jamey, what would you prefer?
Jeopardy.
You got it, Jamey. Congratulations. You're on the board. We're playing Fantasy Jeopardy later. All right. No Dave today, unfortunately. He'll be back on Friday. Friday. News and notes. Tyrone Tracy Jr. says he has a hip contusion and a stinger, so it seems like he should be fine after the Giants bye. Omarion Hampton is expected to play Monday night against Philadelphia. Who's your highest-ranked Chargers running back this week, Jamey?
It will be Omarion Hampton, but they're both going to be – Hampton will probably be a borderline number 2 running back at best, and Vidal will be a low-end flex.
Okay, the Colts waived kicker Michael Badgley. Amon-Ra St. Brown missed practice. Khalif Raymond is out. Brock Wright missed practice. Both Detroit offensive tackles missed practice. This is nothing new, and they end up playing typically. Pittsburgh claimed Adam Thielen off waivers. Pittsburgh defensive tackle Derek Harmon is out. He'll miss his second straight game, and that could have a big impact on their run defense as they are at Baltimore this week. San Francisco GM John Lynch is hopeful that Brandon Ayuk will play this season, and the Broncos signed Elijah Moore to the practice squad, and that is all I have for the news and notes, which is great. All right, let's get right into the Worryometer and Pumped Up-O-Meter. Okay?
Okay.
I am seeing now that we have titled the show Pumped-O-Meter. So, gonna have to take it over.
Like you're washed.
All right. Ogre, official Ogre on Twitter, says he's pumped for A.J. Brown, and he's worried about Brock Bowers. So where are we on the Pumped Up-O-Meter for A.J. Brown and the Worryometer for Brock Bowers?
What's the range?
It's always 0 to 10.
I don't know. You just made this up, so I don't know if you changed the ranges.
8 and 0.
I would agree.
All right. So we're 0 worried about Brock Bowers. Now, Ogre cites the schedule for Bowers, which is Denver, at Philadelphia, at Houston. He already played Denver once. He had 1 catch for 31 yards. That was just an atrocious game for the Raiders. But, well, actually, I'm thinking the Chiefs game was the atrocious game for the Raiders. But anyway, so he struggled.
Raiders had a lot of atrocious games.
They have, but that Chiefs game was the one where the starters didn't even play in the fourth quarter, whatever it was. I don't remember. All right. So, look, you're going to start Bowers, but it is a tough schedule. He may not be a league winner, but he's going to be a starter. Now, Brown, coming off a 35-point game against the Bears and a 25-point game at Dallas. Heath, are you kind of convinced that A.J. Brown is back?
Yeah, basically. I mean, I think he's got 33 targets over his last 3 games. And I just, like, some of it is just that how bad the wide receiver position is. Like, we talk every Sunday night about, well, we're not going to start this guy anymore. And then we get to Tuesday and they're in our top 24. Like, we get a guy that we know is awesome, who's playing awesome. It's pretty exciting. We get pumped.
I think hopefully you're just hoping that the targets are finally catching up and that A.J. Brown is just going to be great. All right, so he gets the Now he gets the Chargers this week, guys. They are number 1 against wide receivers. Is there any concern?
You can't be. Who are you going to start over him?
I mean, I got what you're saying, but it's not like A.J. Brown has not gotten targets all year. right? 8 targets against the Chiefs. He was terrible. Yeah, in fact, look at him in tough matchups, right? He's had, I would say, 5 tough matchups. 7.7 points at Kansas City. 23 points. I'm just going to round up. 23 points against the Rams. 9 points against Denver. 28 points at Minnesota. 3 points against the Packers.
I think at this point, with how much Saquon Barkley is struggling and the run game is struggling, this is their best offensive player right now.
Give it to him. All right. Let's go to our next one after I tell you about BetMGM. It's time to bring that playoff energy to your pro football bets all season long. With a pro football boost pack from BetMGM, it gives you 3 ways to boost your payout on a winning bet. So you log into your BetMGM account and receive your boost pack, and then place any pro football bet and apply one of the tokens. Make sure to bet up to the minimum stake, odds, and legs specified on the token. And if your boosted bet hits, you'll score a bigger payout. From opening kickoffs to game-winning drives, this Pro Football Boost Pack is your ticket to unforgettable moments this season. Don't wait on the sidelines. Join the action with BetMGM. All right, David Granger is just bragging here on Twitter. He says he's pumped about having JSN, Christian McCaffrey, and George Kittle, but he's concerned about, and by the way, he wrote pumped. He didn't write pumped up. He's concerned about TreVeyon Henderson, Kyren Williams, and Rico Dowdle. So who is rank them from least worried to most worried? TreVeyon Henderson, Kyren Williams, Rico Dowdle.
Kyren is the least worried. Then Rico, then TreVeyon.
Heath?
Yeah, sure.
The last two, it's, I think flip a coin, because you could be equally worried about both after what we just saw in week 13. The schedule favors Henderson off the top of my head. The touches, I think you have to say, still favors Dowdle. I know we were all worried because of what Chuba Hubbard did. They still gave Rico Dowdle 20 touches. So he just didn't do as well with his 20 touches as Chuba Hubbard did.
It's true. Kyren, how about this? So the last 6 games for the Rams, you've got 88 carries for Kyren and 60 for Corum. Most of the time, they're very close. There was one game where it was kind of a wide spread. Kyren's averaging 5.1 yards per carry. I want to say he's the only running back with a carry longer than 13 yards against the Rams. Maybe it was Seattle.
I don't think he had a carry that long against the Rams.
I forgot it was Seattle or one.
Was that since like week 7 or week 8? Like week 7.
Oh, when this started?
You said last 6 games, and I was trying to remember if they had their bye in that stretch. I was just seeing like during this stretch what Kyren's averaging.
Yeah, 5.1 yards per carry, 88 carries overall in 6 games, 5 touchdowns. Blake Corum, 60 carries, 1 touchdown. They both have 5 goal line carries. And that's been, I think, the frustrating thing. If Corum would just come off the field in those situations, we'd be fine with it, I guess. But all right.
How much that was last week, though, when Kyren left?
No, it's
because he definitely had a goal line carry after Kyren left.
So, I think Kyren may have come back at that. All right, I'll tell you what. I'll look.
I mean, in that stretch where he is sharing a lot more than I would like for him to share, he's averaging 14 fantasy points per game. He's a must-start running back.
Where does that rank 14 this year?
I don't know. It's RB 16 over that stretch.
That's a must-start running back, RB 16?
I would say for him in the offense that he plays in, yes.
RB 16 is not must-start. They're not 16 must-start running backs. Fine. I
am worried about the direction of the worryometer game.
I mean, you said this yourself numerous times about Kyren Williams as a fantasy manager of Kyren Williams. You're never benching him.
Yeah, I know, because he's on such a great offense. But those touchdowns are saving him, man. He doesn't score a touchdown, you're in trouble. Now, the rest of the schedule, Arizona. So I think why people would be worried is that he's got Arizona this week, or that should be good. The next 2 opponents are Detroit, they're first against running backs, and Seattle, they're 7th. And they have not given up a lot of good games to running backs who just have, 14 carries at most, whereas the Falcons and the Cardinals have. All right, I'm belaboring that. Let's talk about TreVeyon here, guys. Jamey, by this week. Then Buffalo at Baltimore at the Jets in the fantasy playoffs for TreVeyon. Your thoughts on him?
I mean, we thought, I'll speak for myself. I thought we were getting a potential top 15 running back rest of season, based on what his usage was and what the expectation of how they were going to use him was. And then we get to week 13 and Ramondre Stevenson is very much back entrenched in the backfield for the Patriots. And we're not going to get that type of, I think, performance without him either scoring or being more used in the passing game, where it felt like it was even split, and the goal line work, we know in the last 2 games hasn't exactly been in his favor. So I think you just have to hope that his talent shows through. I was a little disappointed with some of his runs against the Giants when he got his opportunities on top of that. So I'm concerned. Yeah. I have a couple leagues where I was like, okay, I'm excited about this, the stretch run for him because of the schedule and what he was doing. And now was thinking about this morning. Like, I don't know if I have a great number 2 running back in a couple of those leagues where I know I'm going to the playoffs.
I think maybe that I am, Heath, not confusing, but interpreting must start as something closer to league winner. And you're probably just going like, okay, you're just going to start this guy every week, which I am with Kyren. But, I see with Kyren in my lineup that there's big downside if he doesn't score. And I guess when I talk about must start, and maybe I should just use a different term, but it's like Jamey saying with TreVeyon Henderson, he's got these teams with TreVeyon. He thought, oh man, I've got a guy that's going to help me win a championship. Now he's not feeling that way. I'm not feeling that way about Kyren necessarily. I'm not feeling.
Well, I'll clarify. I don't expect TreVeyon to be a league winner. I was expecting TreVeyon to be Kyren Williams, where I know I could start him every week. And so let me ask you this, just to play your game, Adam. So who would you rather start rest of season? Kyren Williams or Saquon Barkley?
I think I'd have to go with Kyren Williams.
Kyren Williams or Javonte Williams?
I think I have to go. I think I have to go with Javonte Williams.
Okay, but that's a close call at this point.
And I'll tell you another thing about Kyren, right? And Heath, I'll let you jump in after this, but he has in his last 9 games when this carry started getting limited, he's on pace for 36 catches, which is not that bad. He had an 8-catch game. He has 11 combined catches in the other 8 games in that stretch. So Kyren's doing almost nothing in the passing game too. All right, Heath, your thoughts?
I don't have anything else to add on that.
All right. Okay. I think Javonte has a better role. Who would you rather have, Javonte or Kyren rest of season?
I think that's the same type of player. You have questions because of either performance or in the case of Kyren, somebody sharing touches with him. But I think again, if your team is Kyren Williams, Javonte Williams, TreVeyon Henderson, I'm starting both Williams guys over Henderson when we get to week 15 and they're all available, because I know what the roles are for Kyren, even in a shared situation. I definitely know what the role is for Javonte Williams. I don't know what I'm getting from TreVeyon Henderson. I don't know what I'm getting from McLaurin Hampton. I don't. I would start both Williams guys over RJ Harvey still, based on even the upside for Harvey. Like last week was frustrating as hell. Thankfully he scored the 2 touchdowns. So there's I don't know if you want to say must start. I think you put the Williams guys like in the category of safe. Like they're starters on your team. They're if you're going to say must start guys because you start them every week, then they're must start guys. But I just think they're always going to give you a good floor.
Okay. All right. We're going to take a break and we're going to talk about McLaurin Hampton. We're going to talk about the Cardinals backfield, Tetairoa McMillan, Drake London, and many more after this.
Can I get a spot real quick?
Yeah, sure, man. Hey, wait a minute. You're Dave Richard from FFT.
Yeah.
Huh. Hey, I snagged Alvin Kamara in the 4th round. What do you think?
Is it PPR?
Yeah, full point.
All right, welcome back, everybody.
Somebody pointed out the tucked in shirt. I can't not see it.
Oh, on the Dave video that we just saw, yeah. All right, Chud says he's worried about the Panthers, Cardinals, and Chargers backfields being platoons when everyone is healthy. Panthers, Cardinals, and Chargers backfields. And we've got two of them are healthy, the Panthers and now the Chargers, it seems. Cardinals, hopefully this week. Heath, the platoonometer. But yeah, worryometer on Panthers, Cardinals, and Chargers backfields being platoons.
Yeah, it's I mean, we already talked about Rico Dowdle, and I think he is very, very high on the worryometer. He's probably an 8 or a 9. I think the first week back, it's probably going to be a platoon with Hampton, but I would expect that once he's good to go, he has more than 15 touches a game, and we start him every game. And who was the other one?
Cardinals.
It's a complete mess. But it might be better if, I mean, Benson's only got, I think, one more week before he's eligible to be activated off of IR, and it might just be Bam Knight still in a platoon, but a borderline RB2. I think if Benson comes back, then Benson will probably be that borderline RB2.
Okay. Now the Cardinals have the Rams and the Texans in their next 2 games. That's kind of tough sledding, but then they finish with the Falcons, who are kind of falling apart, and they're at the Bengals. Arizona is in week 17. All right. Yeah. Well, I think everyone's going to have their eyes fixated on that Chargers game on Monday to see what that backfield, what that offense looks like. I mean, those two teams are really fascinating, Chargers and Eagles. So that's a fascinating game. You know what else is fascinating? We are very close to becoming the champions at the 64.com. We're in the final 4, or we're in the last 4. And go ahead and vote for us here. We're going to either go up, if we win, we'll go up against the Pat McAfee show or the Power Trip in the finals. But right now it's the Tony Kornheiser show. So it's very stiff competition. So we need you out there voting at the 64.com. A lot of people are voting because it's so easy to do. So just go to the 64.com and you'll find the podcast sports radio one right on the homepage there. Click on Fantasy Football Today, vote for us. Let's get to the championship round, and then I'll yell at you again for another few days to tell you to vote in the championship round. But thank you, everybody who's been voting. Obviously, you're showing up in big numbers here because we just keep advancing, and it's awesome.
Oh, we got news on both Bucs wide receivers.
Oh, what do we have?
You mentioned Jaylen McMillan already, right?
No, actually, I didn't.
Oh, so both Mike Evans and Jaylen McMillan are eligible to practice as of today.
Wow, Evans has been medically cleared. Oh, you know what? We have that coming up in this segment anyway. But Frank is worried about Tetairoa McMillan and Jaylen Warren. Tetairoa McMillan and Jaylen Warren. Worryometer, let's start with Tetairoa McMillan, who has 8 targets in his last 2 games, or 9 targets, including just 2 last week. But he has caught a touchdown in both games. Jamey, worryometer on McMillan.
3. I mean, it's a very run-heavy offense, as we're aware. And he's had some up and down moments. When he's been up, he's been fantastic. When he's been down, he's still been startable. I think you just, again, Heath talked about this with A.J. Brown. Like, the receiving options that we have most weeks, even when there's no teams on a bye, have been scarce in terms of guys that you think can be solid number 2 receivers with a chance to be number 1 guys. And I think that's where Tetairoa McMillan is. So it's been frustrating. You know, he's had some disappointing weeks. The touchdowns have saved him. But I still think just based on what his role is in this offense and what his upside can be, I'm still starting him most weeks.
This is my favorite game, but where does Tetairoa McMillan rank in fantasy points per game?
About 18th.
Yeah.
But that's so that you're just going to say then he should be treated like a top 18 receiver?
Not in any other season, no. But yes, absolutely. I think I don't have any reason to believe that Tetairoa McMillan's going to be worse rest of season than he has been. There's probably, if he plays 3 games in the fantasy playoffs, he's probably going to have 1 very good game, 1 12-point game, and 1 game around 8 or 9. And I'm probably going to start him for all 3.
I guess you just look at the game log, though. What's he averaging?
13.5.
Says on our screen, 13.1.
13.1.
13.1 here, so yeah.
All right, he's reached that 4 times in 12 games. So that's 1 out of 3, as you were saying. That big game against the Falcons, 33 fantasy points. You know what? Obviously, McMillan usually has a very high target share. But, Jamey, you mentioned it. They run the ball a lot. So then you look at their schedule. Are they going to throw the ball at New Orleans? Probably not. Could they throw the ball against Tampa Bay? Yes. Throw the ball against Seattle? Seattle has been so good against wide receivers lately. That's who he finishes with. That's week 17. I will say this, and then we'll move on. I almost dropped Tetairoa McMillan last night in a 10-team league. But I thought that's probably a little crazy.
I mean, I think it's just like you've got to decide. Do you feel better about Zay Flowers right now? Do you feel better about Khalil Shakir right now? Do you feel better about Wan'Dale Robinson when he gets back? Maybe you do. Maybe, do you feel better about Deebo Samuel with Terry McLaurin back? It's
no.
Right. Those are the guys that are going to kind of populate that wide receiver 25 to 36 range amongst others. And I think Tetairoa is ahead of those guys.
I almost dropped him because I was pretty solid at receiver and really needed running back help. And we were thinking about Singletary, but that's gone up in smoke, obviously. And then what about Jaylen Warren? Worryometer, Jamey, on Warren?
3. I mean, it's another guy that gets a lot of work. An offense that stinks. They are absolutely struggling right now. But, you go back 2 games ago, he had 18 carries. I forget what the yardage was, but scored a touchdown. Was a season high carries for him 2 games prior, and scored a touchdown against Buffalo. Like, I don't know. He's a slight notch behind Kyren Williams and Javonte Williams for me. Like, I know what I'm getting with him.
Okay. Yeah, it was nice to see him kind of keep that grip on the backfield, Jaylen Warren. The offense has been horrible. They're at Baltimore, then Miami, then at Detroit, then at Cleveland. It's not the easiest schedule, but Warren was started in 76% of leagues last week with no teams on bye. So remember, they had the ball for 18 minutes against the Bills, and he still had 12 touches. Nick Drum, Heath, is worried about Drake London, the injury and bad quarterback play. Are you worried about Drake London?
I am definitely, if you're talking about the possibility of Drake London being a top 6 wide receiver rest of season, I'd probably put him at like a 7 or an 8 on the worryometer. I'm still worried that when he comes back, he looks like Brock Bowers did before Brock Bowers took more time off. I still think the second that they say that Drake London is active, I'm going to be starting him in every league where I have him on a roster. It's just, I don't know that I'm going to get what I draft. I don't expect that I'm going to get what I drafted him to be.
This week is a tough week. I don't know if he plays this week. Does the Seattle matchup scare you? Just trying to find like what they've done against Nico Collins. Let's see. Nico Collins scored 6.7 points against Seattle. Deebo Samuel, 9.4. Marvin Harrison Jr., 12.3 with a touchdown, 33 yards and a touchdown on 12 targets. Puka Nacua, 7 for 75. Devontae Adams, 1 catch, 1 yard, 1 touchdown on 8 targets against Seattle. Titans guys were bad. Justin Jefferson just had 2 catches for 4 yards on 6 targets. So the Seattle Seahawks are looking like maybe the worst matchup for receivers. So if London does play this week, you guys going to put him in the top 12?
Top 20. Again, you're still talking about a guy that's been one of the best receivers this season, one of the best fantasy receivers this season. And I get the second part of this comment, with the quarterback situation, because Kirk Cousins does not look good. But again, like when we're starting to compare him to, I'm trying to think about the receivers that are outside the top 24. I'm not getting cute with Adonai Mitchell and Devon Vele and, those type of guys. If you want to say and you could certainly make the argument for Christian Watson and Alec Pierce and guys that have had, some positive stretches that are a little bit more trustworthy than some of these guys that just flashed last week. But I mean, I know for me in the 2 or 3 leagues where I have Drake London, I'm desperate for him to come back.
Okay. All right, let's go to the next one here. We've got a lot of names from Caleb. So we'll go through them more quickly here. Pumped up-o-meter. Caleb is pumped up about Terry McLaurin. What's your pumped up-o-meter on McLaurin?
So probably like 7 just to have him back and him look like he was. He's a top 24 wide receiver for me this week, and you hope the usage. I mean, he played less than half the snaps and dominated targets in his first game back. If he's a full-time player, he may just be a must-start wide receiver again.
Pumped up about Bucky Irving as well.
Top 10 running back.
Yeah, baby. I'm pumped about that too. Pumped up about Jameson Williams.
Top 10 wide receiver this week.
Yep.
This week's easy, but what about when St. Brown's back?
I think you just start him and hope that the blip that we got, I think was Thanksgiving. The game that we got Thanksgiving is
No, it was the week before that with the 0 targets.
Thanksgiving is when St. Brown got hurt. Yeah, like 2 games prior, that was awesome. Last week was awesome. This week should be awesome. I don't know. Number 2 receiver rest of the way. At worst.
All right, worryometer on Zay Flowers.
7.
I mean, it's got to be close to a 10. Like, you're coming off a game against Cincinnati where the offense looked bad. He did not play well. I think if the touchdown counts, we feel a little bit better about it, but still, that's just one big play. So this is a big week. You have him on your team. You're locked into a playoff spot. You want to see him come out and play well against the secondary that's been awful majority of the season. Like, go out and dominate. But I think in the context of how he's performed and how Lamar Jackson is struggling right now, like, I don't know how you can say, "Oh, I feel great about this." So it's he might be the guy that we've talked about so far in terms of potential must-start guys that I'm the most worried about.
So week 13 against Cincinnati, 2 catches for 6 yards on 7 targets. A couple things. First of all, we always talk about Cincinnati being surprisingly good against wide receivers. DJ Turner is having a great year for Cincinnati, and he shadowed Zay Flowers. He is PFF's second highest graded cornerback in their coverage grade. He's a Pro Bowl snub right now. They're talking about that, like the votes. I guess the votes are coming out, whatever. And DJ Turner feels like he should get more attention. So there's that. But also, it was the first game all year where Zay Flowers had 7 or more targets and didn't score 14 fantasy points. And that is the magic number for him. He pretty much never does well when he doesn't get 7 targets in his career, and he usually does well when he does. So, but he had that touchdown call back. It's so annoying. So anyway, you look at, they have Cincinnati, they have New England, they have Green Bay after this Pittsburgh game. Are these opportunities for Lamar Jackson to throw 30 or more passes and 7 of them or more go to Zay Flowers? That's usually a winning formula.
It's definitely there. Sorry, Heath, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
I mean, it's definitely there, but think about the teams you just mentioned. Like, there's some pretty solid cornerback play from the Patriots, from the Bengals, because we just saw it. And Lamar throwing 30 passes, this version of Lamar does not feel like 30 passes is great for anybody.
It's true. Yeah. All right.
So I think you just treat him as a number 3 receiver. And, depending on what your team looks like, I mentioned my FFT Open League team, which I have 3 great running backs and now Terry McLaurin and now potentially Mike Evans. But Zay Flowers was supposed to be, because I lost Garrett Wilson, but Zay Flowers was supposed to be a starter for me every week, and I don't feel good about that at all.
Yeah, it sucks. Who's leading the NFL in Pro Bowl votes?
Drake
This
May.
is the fan voting,
Yeah, I guess.
not the player voting.
Yes, fan voting.
The player voting.
Yep, fan.
Oh, I'm sorry, fan voting. Who's leading?
How'd you know that, Heath?
What?
How'd you know that?
It's just a complete guess.
Drake May.
I mean, he's the current MVP favorite, and he's the hot new thing.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I would have thought it would be something like a little out there, like still Kelsey because of Taylor Swift, or maybe like Shedeur Sanders, something like that.
JSN is second from what I'm seeing.
So it's somewhat relevant.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, sorry. A few more players on the worryometer. So we did Zay Flowers, Stefon Diggs worryometer.
5.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Oh, 7.
You guys stop. I think for him, you mentioned the pass attempts. Like, we want to see Drake May in a shootout.
Yeah, so I was looking at that, and unfortunately, it's all about this route participation rate for Stefon Diggs, right? Sometimes it's pretty high. Sometimes it's like 50%. There's not really a correlation from what I've seen of his route participation rate and the score. Some of his highest route participation rates for Stefon Diggs have been in blowout wins. But either way, you're right. I mean, we want Drake May having, and I think we got the chance for that, right? With Buffalo and Baltimore coming out of the bye. So that'd be great.
Buffalo, yes. I mean, again, which version of Baltimore are we getting?
Are we overlooking the fact that they had 2 touchdowns erased Baltimore. Like,
no, I said that to you that, the overreaction for Lamar Jackson was going to be a little wild because of, how the poor plays were highlighted, but the positive plays were taken away. 50-yard pass was dropped. 2 touchdowns were taken off the board. So yes, there's probably a little bit of that as well. I also think for Stefon Diggs, and I'm not saying this with any certainty, but we had 3.5 games of Kayshon Boutte not there. And Diggs, I'm guessing, I know he scored 2 touchdowns in 3 of those. So, like, how much of that matters too? Like, there's now another mouth to feed in this offense. That's a pretty prominent one for what the Patriots do.
The Chargers wide receivers. Worryometer on the Chargers wide receivers.
8.
Collectively, I think 8 is fair. Individually, Ladd McConkey is basically Javonte Williams, Kyren Williams. Like, I'm starting him every week. I don't care. The other 2 are borderline starters at best, and especially this week with the uncertainty of Herbert's hand. I'm not confident in any of them.
They've also been involved in a lot of blowouts lately, and they've barely thrown the ball, whether it's been getting blown out by Jacksonville or big games, big win, 27-point win against Minnesota, 7-point win at Tennessee. Feel like that game may have been kind of close. 15-point game against Pittsburgh, 17-point win against Las Vegas. So Justin Herbert, his pass attempts have been 25, 29, 33, 18, and 20. You got to keep that in mind. They're going to be in more normal game scripts. You'd have to think Philadelphia, at Kansas City, at Dallas.
It kind of feels like they've just we had this thing the first month or 6 weeks of the season where Justin Herbert was throwing the ball a lot, and they've kind of in the second half gone back to their roots, and it's been more. And I think with Hampton coming back, if he's right, that's probably what they do with the offensive line as it is. They can't protect Justin Herbert. And
he's got a broken hand.
It's true. I just to be optimistic about it, they have played some of the worst offenses in football in the last 5 games, not including Jacksonville. But again, it's Minnesota, Tennessee, Pittsburgh, and Las Vegas. And their next 3 games are Philadelphia, which is bad, 20th or so, and I don't know, 18th in points, whatever they are. Kansas City, Dallas, and then Houston.
Well, I think also just, that, and it makes sense because, looking at like Vidal last week, his best games have come when they've been either blowing out teams or heavy favorites going into that, which I'm sure coincides with both. So it's why I liked him this week, because they were 9.5-point favorites. Like, that's, I think, a good formula for their run game. Now they're going to be, I don't know what the spread is. I'm sorry, but they might be home underdogs against Philly. Wouldn't surprise me.
I wonder if there even is a spread, because we don't know who their quarterback is. But
that's true. Yeah, it might be off the board.
Right now it's Chargers +3, so Eagles are 3-point favorites.
Yeah, so that's not the type of setup you want for whoever the running back is there, especially with the uncertainty around it. But I think if Herbert's healthy, there's a chance for him to play well. But this Eagles defense has just been amazing. And now you have this hand injury plus the offensive line, plus the Eagles coming off a loss. Like, there's just a lot to fear with Justin Herbert.
All right, we're going to take a break here. We'll finish up this segment. We'll preview Thursday night. We'll play some Jeopardy when we come back on Fantasy Football Today.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you. When you need your sports in a snap, find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.
How you guys doing? I feel like we've been very businesslike today. How's life? We've been up to?
Life is great.
Can you believe it's December already? Like, it's so weird that we're the home stretch of the season. We're gonna be studying wide receiver prospects pretty soon. Anyway,
I had Matthew Rupert from Couch Scouts on FFT Dynasty yesterday talking about the 2026 rookie class.
And what are we thinking?
Get excited.
Get it? Yeah, not quarterback, but man, wide receiver looks pretty good, right?
Yeah, it's not as good as next year, but I think it's better than last year. And got at least one really good running back, probably 2 or 3. At least one really good tight end.
Nice. All right. Okay, let's get back to the pumped up-o-meter. People are pumped up about Baker Mayfield with Mike Evans returning. Are you guys pumped up about Baker Mayfield with Mike Evans returning?
Yes.
Probably a 4.
Oh, that's it.
I mean, let's see what Mike Evans looks like.
He's pretty tall. He's
right. I'm glad that he's coming back, and I'm hopeful for Baker, but I'd like to see Mike Evans in action before I get too excited.
I'll give you another downer here on Baker. Last four, I'll take away the Rams game, right? Last 4 games, 24 pass attempts at New Orleans, 43 pass attempts against New England, and he had a great game. 28 pass attempts at Buffalo, windy game. Was playing okay, fumbled on the last snap of the game, or he would have had a 20-point game, 21 points. 28 pass attempts against Arizona. Not throwing a lot. They come out, they've got New Orleans, Atlanta, at Carolina, at Miami in their next 4 games. Are they going to throw this? They actually want to run the ball. Maybe
you also have Baker dealing with the shoulder injury, so that's part of it. And I think in the case of what I like about Baker, a few things. He's been better at home than on the road, and 4 of his last 5 games were on the road. I think you look at his history against New Orleans. This was his worst game ever as a member of Tampa Bay facing them in Week 8. You get Mike Evans back. You get Jaylen McMillan back. Like, this could be the best receiving core in the NFL if they're all right with what Ibuka was doing. And, if Chris Godwin starts to build off what he did last week, like, could be an unstoppable offense, So for me, like, I'm excited to see what Baker can do. So your point about, will they want to run the ball? Yes, that's certainly a big factor in all of this. But, I still think like he could have a lot more efficient games. And, I know Heath's point of doubting Baker coming in the season was the touchdown regression. Maybe we get a little bit more of that to close the season, like the positive side of that, where he's just, not necessarily having a lot of attempts, but he's getting in the end zone quite a bit. Like, I think we feel a little bit different about him if Godwin catches that touchdown last week.
Mm-hmm.
He has a Rashad White touchdown pass called off, called back. So there were some things. It's kind of similar to Lamar. Like, Baker's numbers could have been much better.
I think we can end our worryometer, pumped up meter segment there, and we can transition into our big topic, which is Dallas at Detroit, Thursday Night Football. Nah.
Your face is the
best. Okay. All right, let's go to our updated stat of the game. Still, only one running back has scored more than 16 PPR fantasy points against the Lions. It was Quinshon Judkins. And Tyrone Tracy Jr. is the only running back to score more than 11.8 fantasy points in PPR against the Lions in their last 8 games. Oh, my goodness. And we got Javonte Williams. So, look, Dak Prescott is a slam dunk. He's top 3. Jared Goff is top 5, I believe, even without Amon-Ra St. Brown. The matchup is amazing. And, start Lamb, start Pickens, start Jameson Williams, start Jahmyr Gibbs. But let's talk about Javonte Williams. And Heath, your expectations for Javonte, do you like him this week against Detroit?
I'm starting him this week against Detroit. I don't like the matchup, and I think I've got him a little higher than where I'll have him when I do my midweek adjustment, but I think he's an RB2. And you expect that he's going to touch the ball more than 15 times, and it's probably going to be the highest scoring game of the week. The big thing for the Lions is that they just haven't given up touchdowns to running backs over that stretch where you said nobody scored 11.8 PPR points. There's going to be a lot of touchdowns in this game, we think. Hopefully Javonte gets one of them.
He's had a lot of tough matchups this year. He's had a great game at Philadelphia, great game against Green Bay, great game at Denver, bad at Las Vegas, struggled the second time against Philadelphia, great game against Kansas City. I say great. I'm just talking about fantasy points. And really it's been, does he score? So I think it's kind of what you were saying there. All right. So would you start Javonte Williams at Detroit or Travis Etienne against the Colts?
I like Etienne better.
I'd probably go Javonte.
Javonte Williams or Derrick Henry against Pittsburgh?
Henry.
Jaylen Warren at Baltimore?
Javonte.
Seattle running back at Atlanta. Let's say Ken Walker at Atlanta.
Javonte.
Ooh. Okay. Jordan Mason, if Aaron Jones is out, or Jordan Mason against Washington. Ooh, this is a tough one. Or Javonte.
Got to start Javonte because we won't know.
Yeah, definitely Javonte.
Okay. Fine. All right, so start. This game is full of starts. How do I feel about Jake Ferguson?
I hope I don't have to start him, but he's a very, very borderline top 12 tight end.
Oh,
I
I'm
think
surprised.
again,
I thought you'd be good on him. Sorry, Jamey. I thought you'd be a little more excited about Ferguson.
I'm
Heath.
not.
Okay.
I think you put him in that group of maybe they'll be good this week of Pitts and Ertz and Fannin and Gadsden. There's just a lot of questions at some of the guys that have been borderline must start guys. Ferguson's definitely faded since the George Pickens, CeeDee Lamb emergence when Lamb came back. And again, it's, kind of similar to the quarterbacks. If Ferguson gets his right foot down last week, we probably feel much better about him because he would have scored and, continued to, or at least had a positive game. It's just been frustrating because he was so amazing at the start of the season. Now he's just tailed off.
I would start Jawan Johnson, Dalton Schultz, and Brenton Strange all over him.
I agree.
Okay. I just figured you'd want every piece of this game as you possibly can. 54.5 point total is insane. Is that?
I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, the start percentage doesn't reflect this, but I don't think most people that have Jake Ferguson have been searching for other options.
Yeah, probably not. He's staying afloat since Lamb came back, other than a donut at Denver. It's a huge game against Washington, Lamb's first game back, and then 10 points, 11.6, 11.1, 8.6 with 5 to 7 targets in all of those games since Lamb came back. Okay, Jared Goff, how about, would you start both quarterbacks in this game over Joe Burrow at Buffalo?
I would.
Yes.
Josh Allen against Cincinnati?
Nope.
Allen's number one.
Can't ask you Drake May. He's on a bye.
I'd start both of them over Mahomes.
I would too.
Against Houston. Okay, that makes sense. Stafford at Arizona or a quarterback in this game?
Dak, Stafford, Goff for me.
I have Stafford, Dak, Goff, but they're 2 through 4. So,
all right, start it up. Any interest in David Montgomery?
No, non-PPR, borderline number 2 running back, full PPR, no, flex at best. Last week was great that he scored 8 carries, 32 yards, no touchdown. You're disappointed there.
Yeah, just a flex.
And even if you get the touchdown in a full PPR league, he doesn't even score 13 points when he scores. Twice this year, he's scored more than 13.1 fantasy points. And remember, this Dallas run defense has gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
Since acquiring Kyren Williams and Mac Wilson. I don't really have much. Whoa.
Kyren Williams and who?
Not Mac Wilson, Logan Wilson.
Logan Wilson, yeah.
This is just an enormous game. I don't think anybody thought that we'd have the Lions playing a must-win game in Week 14, but it's going to be really, really difficult. We've got several of these games. Chiefs, Texans, same way. It's going to be really, really difficult for whoever loses this game to make the playoffs, and whoever wins it is in a lot better shape.
I think in the case of the Cowboys, and I'm not saying this with anything certainty, but the Cowboys and even the Texans, if they both lose this week, can still manage to win the division. The Lions lose this, they're in a lot of trouble, and the Chiefs are in a lot of trouble.
If the Cowboys win this game, they go 7-5-1. If the Eagles lose at the Chargers Monday, they're 8-5. That would be unbelievable that division could be within a half a game. And then we could once again not have a team repeat as NFC East champions. But we can't finish this game without talking about Isaac Tesla and Tom Kennedy. And Jamey, where do you have these guys ranked, Tesla and Kennedy?
Yeah, I haven't ranked Kennedy. I'll have to put him in the top 150. But Tesla, I'm excited about. I think he's going to be on the field a lot. I think this is an opportunity for him to showcase his skills. They were very excited about him coming out of camp and just haven't really needed him to do very much because of what the receiving core is in the offense that they run. But I think he's going to be on the field, running plenty of routes. And, we've talked about this quite a bit, certainly yesterday on the waiver wire show, that the way that they used him after Amon-Ra St. Brown went out is going to be different than how they use him this week, because now they're going to feature him more. And same with Kennedy. But I think just for me, I'm going to buy into the prospect and hope that Tesla scores another touchdown and maybe does a little bit more with it. So as I said yesterday, I'll say the same thing. The ceiling is immense. The floor is non-existent. So knowing that there's going to be a lot of points in this game, knowing that there's going to be probably a lot of pass attempts on both sides, certainly from Goff, I'm going to take my chances on him. I picked him up in a few leagues. I'm excited to start him in a few leagues as well.
I would, and I don't know if this is consensus or not, but I'd still rather flex Montgomery than one of the other Lions wide receivers.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would say for me, from a floor standpoint, yes, like the chance of 11 PPR points is certainly better for Montgomery than it is for Tesla, but the upside for me would favor the receivers.
You wouldn't start Tesla over Brian Thomas Jr., would you?
I would.
You would? Heath?
I would not.
Just so everyone knows, here's kind of what happened in the game last week when Amon-Ra St. Brown went out. When you just talk about the roles that they played, Isaac Tesla, who always runs deep routes, he had a very high average route depth, 11 yards, a little bit more than 11 yards. Tom Kennedy was like 8.6 average yards, average route depth. Now, whatever. Jameson Williams, though, and if you've listened to me, you know that I hate guys with high average route depths. I cannot stand it, and it's held Jameson Williams back. He had a season-low average route depth. So I love that. I mean, obviously everyone's starting JMO this week. It's like, it's a no-brainer, but that's a great thing. Like, he basically changed his role, and Isaac Tesla sort of took the Jameson Williams role and just, did what he usually does, run deep routes, but ran him all the time. Is on the field all the time. But Jameson Williams, like, that was great. We didn't have to rely on him, having a big play. So that's what scares me about Tesla, because guys who have high average route depths are kind of boom or bust. But it's also what can get you excited about him, because
Especially this week.
Yeah, the Cowboys, right. I mean, the Cowboys, they had some injuries in their secondary. It looks like those guys are going to be okay. Deron Bland and Malik Hooker. But they've been a lot better with eliminating the deep ball since like mid-season, basically. But it's still the Cowboys. They give up the most fantasy points to wide receivers. So if we have any Tesla questions in the chat, go for it. And if not, we'll move on. I'll try to come up with some right now. How about Tesla or Bears running backs, full PPR?
Bears running backs.
Yep.
Tesla or Trey Tucker against Denver?
Tesla.
Yeah, I should probably put Tesla ahead of him.
Tesla or Zay Flowers against Pittsburgh?
Flowers
is safer.
How about
and in fairness, like, Flowers is kind of just the name brand version of what we're hoping for Tesla this week. Like, I still think at any given week the switch could just flip back on for Lamar, and Flowers could have one of those 25-point games and then go back to scoring 10 and 11 again.
And just as good a matchup too.
Okay, I got some Tesla questions here. Tesla or Rivian? Very funny. Tesla or Roma Dunze or Emeka Ibuka?
You can't put those guys in the same sentence.
Okay.
Not Tesla.
Tesla or Tyjae Spears?
So again, this is kind of similar to Tesla versus David Montgomery. Like, you know what you're getting, and it's probably going to be 7 to 9 PPR points for Spears. I would take the upside of Tesla. And as a matter of fact, I'm doing that in one league. I was stuck with bye weeks that I was going to start Spears as a flex. I picked up Tesla. I'm starting.
Tesla or Quentin Johnston?
Same thing. You're talking about a very similar type of player. I'll take Tesla.
I'll take Johnston.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't know that we're going to know that Justin Herbert is playing by Thursday, because they have a Monday game.
It's true.
So, yeah, if you're telling me it's Trey Lance, I'll take Kennedy over. Over. I don't even know if I'm joking there.
I mean, Kennedy might be better than Tesla.
Yeah, it's true. He was last. No, Tesla caught the touchdown. What does Tesla have? He has 3 touchdowns on 6 catches this year.
Yep,
it's wild.
He hasn't had a game with more than 2 targets. It's very risky. But again, as I said yesterday, it's matchup, it's opportunity, it's offense. Like, there's a lot to love about what the situation could be.
It's fun. It's fun. What a dice roll.
You have Tesla ahead of or behind Adonai Mitchell?
Ahead of. And
okay.
I had that as a waiver wire add too.
All right, that's it for Thursday Night Football. Sit the DSTs. We move on to fantasy. Now we move on to fantasy Jeopardy. We've got 3. Yes, Heath?
No, I'm just ready. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right, good. All right, buzz in by saying your names. No daily double. You don't lose points for wrong guesses. I got to get my wrong buzzer sound effect up. 3 categories today. We have quarterbacks, pass catchers, as usual, and Christmas movies for $200, $400, and $600 dues. And I'm ready. I have wrong buzzer queued up. Okay, here we go.
So just so I'm aware for the Christmas movies, this is your definition of Christmas movies.
They're Christmas movies. Okay.
All right. So the Jewish guy against the non-Jewish guy and the guy who doesn't know how to define Christmas movies. This is going to be a lot of fun.
There you go. Yeah, but also it's like the guy who's seen a lot of movies versus the guy I'm not quite sure he's seen that many movies.
I've seen a lot of movies. I just don't. It's like I watched the movie and then it's gone.
I'm not optimistic about Heath in the Christmas movie category, but we'll
Christmas movies for 600.
see. You sure?
Yeah.
All right. Christmas movies for 600. In a Christmas story, this was from BuzzFeed, by the way, this particular question. In a Christmas story, what gift does Ralphie receive from his aunt?
Heath.
Yeah.
BB gun.
Love the confidence. Love the confidence.
That's the only gift I remember him getting.
What gift does Ralphie receive from his aunt? Aunt.
No idea.
A pink bunny suit.
Yeah, I do remember that now. He also got a BB gun, right? Is that
He
from his
did.
dad?
I don't know who he got it from, but yeah,
Okay.
he did get a BB gun.
I feel like I should get a half a point. I should get 300 points for that.
I don't think so. Next, sport is still yours, Heath, even though I never gave it to
He would give that to you if you were close in the score to make it.
Yeah.
Right. He would give that to somebody else if I was way ahead in the final round.
But you know what? I'm going to give it to Jamey. Jamey, you get 300.
Christmas movies for 400.
This is what the bad guys in Home Alone call themselves.
Oh my god.
Heath,
Heath.
the Wet Bandits.
Hey, Heath is on the board with full 400 points. All right, board's yours.
Christmas movies for 200, please.
This is the club that Clark Griswold is given a free year of membership to in Christmas Vacation. Really, Jamey?
Don't remember.
It's the
Heath.
gift that keeps on giving all year long. Heath,
I don't remember. The Honey Baked Ham Club.
not bad. The Jelly of the Month Club.
Jelly.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right, we've got quarterbacks and pass catchers for 2, 4, and 600.
By the way, Thomas got 200 points in the chat. He got that one right.
Yeah, baby. Good job.
So pass catchers and what?
Quarterbacks.
Okay, let's go with quarterbacks for 200, please.
He is the number 2 quarterback per game in 6-point per passing touchdown leagues behind Josh Allen.
Jamey.
Jamey.
Matthew Stafford.
Heath.
Who is Patrick Mahomes?
Correct. Patrick Mahomes. And Jamey, don't forget to answer in the form of a question or I will kick you off the stream.
Oh no.
Heath, you're up.
Quarterbacks for 400, please.
He leads all quarterbacks in off-target rate.
Heath. Who is Caleb Williams?
Okay, this game is just about over. Heath has, 600, 1,000. Now we got a lot of money still on the board. Jamey, you better get moving here, though. 1,000 for Heath. Jamey, you got nothing. Heath?
Quarterbacks for 600.
He leads all quarterbacks in EPA per dropback. EPA per dropback. And 3. Heath.
Who is Matthew Stafford?
Just take a guess, Jamey.
Drake May.
Hey, Jamey's on the board. Nice work. It is Drake.
Glad you-
May.
He did not answer in the form of a question.
Oh, you give it to him. You're absolutely right. He's still got 0. But
Darn.
it is Drake May, and
I was spending all my money already.
who's second behind Drake May? Just behind him is Jordan Love. All right, pass catchers. Heath, you still have the board because Jamey cheated.
Pass catchers for 600.
600. Wow. This NFC North wide receiver leads all wide receivers in yak per catch.
Jamey. Christian Watson.
Heath.
Heath.
Why can I only think of 3 teams in the NFC North right now? I literally just lost one of the teams.
Green Bay, Detroit, Chicago, and Minnesota.
Yeah, that's all of them.
Who leads in yak per catch?
Heath.
Mm-hmm. It's already yours.
Luther Burden.
This one shocked me. It's Jameson Williams. Jameson Williams is averaging 8.7 yards after the catch per reception. Amazing.
Knew it had to be a low catch guy, but
all right. I guess it could have been Burden. I did he had 35 targets, right? I did a 35.
Yeah, it's not Burden.
Okay. He leads all $400. He leads all tight ends in touchdowns.
Oh my God.
Heath. Trey McBride.
There's someone more than McBride.
Who is Trey McBride? Yep, you didn't do it. You didn't. Yeah.
Okay, so it's either 1,400 to 600 or 1,000 to 0.
It's 1,000 to 0. We're gonna break the rules. You're not gonna get points in my game. Last one, pass catchers for $200. We need a form of a question here. The amount of wide receivers with more touchdown catches than the Tennessee Titans.
The amount of wide receivers?
Yeah, who have more touchdown catches than the Titans.
Heath. 73.
73 wide receivers. No, then the team Titans.
No, I know.
Oh. Yeah.
It's not who. So what is 17?
Only three. 3 wide receivers have more touchdown catches than the entire.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm misunderstood.
Yeah, I think you both did. What were you thinking there?
No, that's what I thought.
Oh, you thought 70? They have 7 touchdown catches, and 3 wide receivers have more than that. Devontae Adams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and George Pickens. That was a pretty lackluster round of Fantasy Jeopardy, but not your fault. I blame myself.
Yeah, I mean, I feel pretty good about it.
I'm glad you got the Wet Bandits. Thomas, I know you know the Wet Bandits. Did you know the Pink Bunny suit?
I did not know.
Okay. Did you know the other ones, the football ones?
Every football one? No.
Not everyone.
Heath, I have a Jeopardy question for you.
Okay.
The category is shitty hosts.
Oh,
Heath. Who is Adam Azer?
Winner!
Oh, man. All right. That was fun, everybody. I hope you enjoyed our Wednesday programming. We'll talk to you tomorrow with starter sit for the AFC home games. Get out there and vote. The64.com. The voting period is pretty brief. So, if you have a second today, please go ahead and vote for fantasy football today. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Later.